Hello, everyone. Welcome to Facebook Live. I'm going to start out by introducing myself. My name is Anne Marie Heil. You can find me over on my blog at stampinan.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas. I normally go live Fridays at 4 p.m. Central, but I am going live today, Sunday at 4, for a little change of pace. Hello, I see some folks are joining. Hi, Susan. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you here today. All right, well, welcome, welcome. We're going to do a little bit of live crafting today. I have a fun card to share with you and also some tips on blending brushes. So we are going to make a cue card with Perched in a Tree, which is one of my favorite bundles right now. And I want to go ahead and get a little housekeeping going to get started. So before we get crafting today, I want to point out a few things to you. As I mentioned, my blog is stampinan.com. Now there are some links in the description of this video. So whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, the same links will be there. There are going to be some links to shop in my online store. So if you do need any Stampin' Up! Product, there is a link for you to, if you love this bundle and you don't have it, want to purchase it, you can hop on over to my online store, pick it up. So if you need any Stampin' Up! Product, there's a link to my online store. I do have a host code listed as well. And if you use that host code, I do send some perks as well. So that's all listed in the description of the video. Hello, Mary Ellen. And yeah, so I wanted to share that with you. And what else? I have a couple little other things I need to talk to you about too. And we're going to give away a prize from last Facebook Live. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So I want to start out just by kind of recapping as people are getting settled in. I'll move that out of the way. But check out those links, all kinds of good stuff. Hi, Peggy. Nice to see you there. And yes, Mary Ellen, thank you for sharing. That's a really good thing, too, I need to mention. I'd love it if you'd share this video so we can get more folks watching today. This isn't my normal time, so I would definitely love to have more people joining us today. And so for sharing the video, what I do is the card I make today, I will put everybody who shares, I'll put your name into a drawing, and you will be entered to win the card I create today for sharing. So and anybody who shares, as long as, just leave me a little note down here that you shared, whether you're sharing on YouTube or Facebook, and I will put you in the drawing for that card. I also do a second drawing for everybody who comments on the video. I put all of your names into a hat and do a drawing as well. So definitely interact, say hi, let me know you're here. Helps me out. I'm standing here talking to myself, so it's kind of nice to see you there interacting. Hello. Okay. Peggy says she loves the stamp set. I do too. I want to share with you guys a couple other things if you want some more creative inspiration. I shared this on my blog this morning. I have a fun fall card for the Paper Players Challenge, and that is over on stampinan.com. You can get all the information about this card. I almost made this one today, but I made one with lots of little pieces last week, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to do that again. I want to do a different technique. So we may make this on another Facebook Live, but anyway, I shared this over on my blog this morning. I love it. And then I also shared yesterday on my blog a holiday card for the Positive Inkers design team. We had our goal this month for our blog hop was to use the non-traditional holiday colors. And so, of course, I used pink. I had to use polished pink. So I used polished pink, Granny Apple Green, and Bermuda Bay to create this fun wreath card for the holidays. And just for fun, I made one in traditional colors as well. So you can get info on my blog on that as well. And then earlier, in the middle of last week, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I shared a fun shaker card here on the Stampin' Ann page. And I don't think I uploaded this to YouTube because I did it for the Maker's Mojo page. But there's info here on Facebook on Stampin' Ann. So if you want some more creative inspiration, there's info on all of those on my blog. Okay, so let's get back Speaking of Maker's Mojo, I got to talk to you guys about this. So Maker's Mojo Creative Escape is coming up October 21st and October 22nd. I do this event quarterly. It is me and 4 other demonstrators. We get together to do this virtual event. We do 10 presentations. We share tons of creative inspiration. We do live stamping presentations. There are tutorials, prizes, so much information. Now, I did put the link to the Maker's Mojo event in the description of this video. Also, the link to register is when it'll take you to my blog, and there's a link to register there. I would love to have you join me for this event. We're going to be opening up the Facebook group for Maker's Mojo this week, and the earlier you get in, the more chance you have to win more prizes. So definitely keep that in mind. You will see the description, or I'm sorry, the link to information about this event in the description of this video. I have shared that. It's also posted over on my blog. But I would love to have you join us. It's a ton of content. We are really busy behind the scenes right now, and we just have so much fun with these events. And if you're looking for a lot of creative inspiration and just getting together virtually with a bunch of, crafters who want to have fun, check it out, guys. I can't say enough about it. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you there. Tammy's attending the event. She came the last time for her first one, and she's coming back this time. And Tammy's like my biggest cheerleader for this event. So Tammy can attest. We had a lot of fun. You get a ton of content, and it's just so worth it. And Tammy's bringing some friends with her this time too. So again, it's a virtual event. We hold it on Facebook the 21st and 22nd of October. If you can't make it, don't worry. Everything is recorded for you. And like I mentioned, you can get into the Facebook group earlier, and we have some fun interactive posts that will help you be eligible for prizes and things like that. Definitely check it out, you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them here, or you can send me a message, and I'm happy to answer them for you. Prizes last week on Facebook Live on Sunday. I made this cute card here with the cottage wreaths. I don't even know if I'm in the center. And this card was super fun. I just love the color palette on this. So I created this fun little wreath card. That's what we made on last Sunday's video. So if you missed it, definitely go back and check it out, and even finished up the inside too. So for sharing, everybody who shared the video, I put your name into a drawing, and the winner of this card for sharing is Nora Cronk Taylor. Nora, congratulations. Nora, I have, unless you have moved since the last time I have sent you a prize, I have your address. So we'll have to connect on that. But if you have not moved since the last time I sent you your prize, then I have your address. Now, I had a second card. I made 2. So I just thought it would be fun for everybody who commented. I'm going to send the same card this week. Usually it's different. But I have 2. So I figured, why not? We'll double the fun. So for everybody who commented on the video, everybody's name went into a drawing. And the winner for commenting is Samantha Shriver. Congratulations, Samantha. Samantha, I believe I have your address. So if I don't, I'll reach out to you and let you know. But congratulations, ladies. Nora and Samantha, congratulations. I'm so excited to send some happy mail to you this week. And I hope you love your card. And if you want to reach out to me, like I said, I have your addresses, but I also wanted to put my email up here as well for anybody else watching. If you have questions about Maker's Mojo or anything at all that I can help you with, my email is just my name, Anne Marie Heil. Anne has an E on the end at gmail.com. You can reach out to me anytime, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Congratulations, ladies. Let's go ahead and get started with today's card. Okay, so we are going to make, where are they? Oh, we're going to make a fun card with the Perched in a Tree bundle. And this is a fun bundle. Okay. We're going to do a little hybrid card of 2 other cards. So we're going to see how it comes out today, because I want to show you some fun techniques with blending brushes, and we're going to do some other fun things too. So Perched in a Tree is a fun bundle in the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog for July through December. It's available now. It has this beautiful little stamp set, and then it also has I absolutely love this, like, what is it? Aspen trees. Yep, the aspen tree die. We're going to use this today on the card. There's a branch, there's a little die that cuts out the bird, and then there's some fun little leaves. This is a great, great card, or a great bundle. Hi, Paula. Nice to see you. Welcome. So we are going to go ahead and create something fun with this. Okay. All right. So our card, I'm just going to kind of put this in really, really quickly, is going to be kind of a hybrid card of this card. We're not going to make this one exactly. I'm going to switch some things up a little bit, but we're going to do some techniques with blending, and we're going to kind of step this card up a little bit. So stay tuned. It's going to be really fun. I hope you love this color combo. I love it. So like I said, it's not going to be that card exactly. I'm shaking it up a little bit. I'm going to start with a rich raspberry card base. I kind of want the rich raspberry to be a little bit more pronounced. So I'm switching up. This one I did Night of Navy as the base, and I did Blackberry Bliss. But with this card, I'm going to do rich raspberry because I kind of want to lighten it up a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. So I have a card base that opens. My inside piece is in there too. It's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Okay. And when I've mentioned this before, I know some of you watch me regularly. I know it sounds like I'm a parrot when I say this, but when I do cards in this portrait orientation, I like them to open top to bottom. If you would prefer yours to open like a book, you just have to adjust your measurements a little bit, but that is for a top opening card. Okay, so 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Then I'm going to have a piece of Night of Navy, and I put the measurements on here today. Hopefully it'll be helpful. That's 4 by 5 1/4. And then I also did a piece of crumb cake, and the piece of crumb cake, I've already die cut it because I didn't want to bring my big machine over here, so I already did the die cutting for this, but we're going to do some other die cutting. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So you can kind of see we're going to layer that up together. Those are our card layers. And as I mentioned, all I did was I put that aspen tree die in the center of this piece of crumb cake, and I just cut it out. So I have a little bit of a border all the way around. Just try and center it as best you can, but it comes out really nice at that measurement. Now, you're also going to need a piece of basic white. And this is really technical. That's just under 3 7/8 and just under 5 1/8. So this layer right here is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I cut this piece just a smidge shorter because we're actually going to adhere the crumb cake piece to the top of it. And I cut it just a little bit short, just so it wouldn't hang out. I may even trim it more after we get the shading done. Okay, so you just want to cut it just a smidge shorter. Another tip I have for you with this piece right here is you can shade it first and then cut it. That might be helpful too. Then you can trim it down as much as you want to. So if you don't cut it to this measurement ahead of time, you can keep it bigger, do your shading. And then, if you cut it off and it's got some, shading that cuts off on the side, you can even put it on the inside of your card if you wanted to. So just something to keep up with. Karen says the aspens in Colorado are turning gold. Oh, I'm so jealous. And Karen, you lived in Texas too, Right now everything it's still green, but it's going to go from green to brown. We don't have changing seasons here in South Texas, and I miss it. I miss the fall colors. It's so pretty. So anywho, we'll do what we can here in Texas. So we're going to start out with doing some blending. We have that little sheet right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an ink blended background. And let me grab my blending brushes. I have them all in a little mug here. And I have a couple different sizes of blending brushes. The Stampin' Up! Blending brush is this size here. It's a little bit bigger. I do have some smaller ones that I got from a place that shall not be mentioned, Amazon. But anywho, oh no, I don't want the red. as they come in different sizes. I really like the Stampin' Up! Blending brushes. I like the nice full head on them, and I think they work really well. You can wash them. And what I do is I have a blending brush for each color. Most colors. I can't find, I had a blue, a navy blue that was a big one, and I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in my craft room. So I have a small one that we're going to use for Night of Navy. So I have blending brushes, and like I said, I have this little dot on the back that just kind of designates what color family it is. And I have them for just about every color family. The only thing that I do is I do keep a separate one for pinks and reds, and well, or dark pinks too. I like to keep them separate because that one's kind of pink, is you don't want to mix it too much with red. And then I've another one that I like to keep separate on its own is like Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, some of the lighter blues. I like them to have their own as well. So just a little tip there. So we're going to do blending brushes, and we're going to do 3 colors. We're going to do Night of Navy. Night of Navy is going to go on the top. Crushed Curry is going to go in the middle. Trying not to put my fingers in this. And Rich Raspberry is going to go on the bottom. So, tips with blending brushes. I have these in the wrong order. I'm left-handed, so we're going to be at a little bit of an angle here. Usually what I like to do with my blending brushes is when I'm doing 3 colors like this, I like to start in the middle, put some ink down in the middle, and then work my blending into the middle. I just find it's a little bit easier to gauge how much ink you're putting down, to kind of start in the middle and then blend together. It will also help you blend the colors together a little easier. So we're going to start in the middle with Rich Raspberry. I have my inks wrong. Sorry. We're going Night of Navy, Raspberry in the middle, and Crushed Curry on the bottom. Okay, so sorry. Let's see. Hi, Amanda. Nice to see you. And Peggy says it's a great idea. You have the name on the handle, and you have to look at names for color. Yeah, I was going to do one for each individual color, and now I just kind of do them for color families. I find that's just easier for me. They wash out. If I get too much ink build up in there, I just wash them out. But for the most part, and another thing I like to do too before I get started with any kind of blending is I like to kind of just touch my scratch paper just to make sure I have the right color, just to make sure that everything's good to go and that I don't have too much ink on here to begin with. Okay, so we're going to start with Raspberry. I'm going to pick up some ink here. And I always like to start off and just kind of blend through the middle. And I always, when you're doing blending brushes, I always think it's great to, whoa, I got a little ink right there. That's okay. It's going to be Night of Navy there. I think we can cover it up. But I always like to start slow. You can always add more, but you can't take away. That's with any kind of blending. So I always suggest, whoops, and this might shake a little bit, but I always suggest starting with a little, just to get a feel for how the brush works. And I know everybody uses their blending brushes differently. Some people will use their handles. I like to hold a little closer to the top. That's just me. It's preference. You'll kind of get a feel for how you like yours to perform. Okay, so we laid down some Rich Raspberry. Again, I can always add more, so I'm probably going to go back to that. There is a little bit, I think there was something on my ink pad, because there's ink all like little pieces of something with ink everywhere. I have to be careful. So we're going to do Crushed Curry next. I'm going to work light and then dark. And again, and you might, and I know this is kind of a weird angle. Sorry, I'm a lefty. We hold everything different. Not different, but a little weird sometimes, I think. But, and then what I'm doing is I'm getting my crushed curry and blending curry and raspberry together, just kind of going over. So we don't have a definite line where crushed curry ends and razzleberry begins. They just kind of mesh into each other. I'm just kind of working in a little circular pattern. Whoops, almost put that in the wrong one. Did you see that? I'm going to go back with the razzleberry and just kind of go over that little line again, because I don't want it to be a definitive line. You can kind of see how it meshes into, the colors mesh into each other. Now, I have to watch this because this one's a little bit smaller. So when I go in with my Night of Navy, these smaller ones perform just a little bit differently. I wish I knew where my big one is with the dark blue. It's in here somewhere, I'm sure. I must have used it for something. I'm going to turn this around so it's a little closer to me. And we've got a couple little lines here, but it's okay. We're going to smooth them out. This is just one of those techniques you need to have patience with until you get a feel for it. Now I am trying to get a bigger concentration of my navy at the top. I kind of want it to be like a night sky, if that makes sense. So I want to go darker and then just a little bit lighter, just kind of have everything kind of mesh into each other. Hi, Sonia. Thank you for sharing. Oops, I got a little heavy-handed on the side, but it's okay. It's all going to come together. I know some people. Hi, Anja. It's looking interesting. I hope you like the color combo. It's a little bit different. I really like these kind of rich fall colors. And I'm going to go back in with my razzleberry, and I'm going to blend into the navy. So see how it just kind of gives a gradient effect. I got a little heavy-handed over there, but it's okay because we're going to cover that piece up. It's okay. If it's not perfect, it's fine. It's handmade, you guys. You have to let go of the perfection when you're making a card, right? At least I do sometimes. Okay, I'm going to put a little more ink on the top, and then I'm going to go in a little bit more with the razzleberry. Maybe a little bit more navy. And just have patience. I find this to be really super cathartic. I love doing this. And then you see how we've got kind of a really cool gradient look. Might go in with the crushed curry and add a little more. I'm actually kind of liking how this is coming out. But I like to look at, I'm probably getting ink all over my hands. I like to look at it as building color, not just putting color down. I look at it as building color. You want to just kind of keep working it and build it up a little bit. Okay, this is pretty rich, actually. I like it. Blending stresses me out. Amanda says blending stresses me out because of those imperfections, but it's beautiful. You know, I find when I go slow and I work and I just kind of build the color up, I do really well with blending. If I try and rush it and just slap color down, that's when it gets really messy and that's when I get stressed out. So okay. So I want to point out, I don't want to get ink everywhere, but here's our kind of our finished piece, and see how it's all, we're a little heavy around the corners, and that's okay. That's just, but I'm also thinking in terms of, I'm going to overlay this. Let me move these measurements so you can actually see what I'm showing you. But we're going to overlay it so it just kind of looks like this beautiful night sky. And so again, you're really not going to see where I got really heavy-handed right here and right here. You're not even going to see it. It's just going to kind of blend together. And actually, you know what? The perfectionist, I need to let it go, right? I'm going to add a little more crushed curry. I just want a little more robust. I can't believe I want more crushed curry. If you've ever visited me before, crushed curry is one of my least favorite but don't tell the others. But for some reason, with Rich Raspberry and Night of Navy, it's actually quite stunning, don't you think? Okay, I think we're done with these, so I'm going to put them back in the cup so I don't make a mess. Now, I wanted to share something else with you guys in regards to blending. Let me get a paper towel, because we're gonna get a little bit, we're gonna play with some water-based stuff now. So, on my original card, I want to get that ink out of the way to avoid any potential problems. So on my original card that I made, I did the blending of Night of Navy. This is Blackberry Bliss, and this is Crushed Curry. And as you can see, it's really beautiful with that gradient look. Now, the card I want to make today is, I want to show you something fun you can do. The ink blending, I think, is really pretty on its own, but I want to add a little texture to this blended background, and you can do that a couple different ways. So I do have 2 Stampin' Spritzers here. I have one that is filled with water, and that one has my green sticker on the top. I didn't have a blue sticker, so it's the closest I can come to like a watercolor. So the green sticker is water, and then I have one with a yellow sticker, and this one has rubbing alcohol in it, and it's a 91% rubbing alcohol. I use this when I do watercolor backgrounds, the 91%. So I wanted to kind of play with this and add a little texture to my background on here. Now, you can do these backgrounds. This is just regular basic white cardstock. Now, our point here is not to super saturate this layer. I don't want to add a ton of moisture. Now, obviously, alcohol is going to dry faster, for obvious reasons, than water will. So, hi, Deborah. Nice to see you there. Hey, Deborah, you know what? You're here, and I don't usually do this, but I saw your name pop up, and you, my dear, won a card on Facebook Live. I think like 2 weeks ago, you won this cute card, and I need your mailing address. So I'm going to put my email there. If you can drop me an email, I'll drop this cutie in the mail to you. Okay. I just happened to notice you were here, and I was moving things around, and I saw your name earlier. So you won. Congratulations for sharing 2 weeks ago, but I need your address to send this card to you. Okay. I digress. Let's get back. So it's going to react differently. So we're going to start with water, and I'm going to show you kind of what it does. Now I want to hold back a little bit. You can do this really blotchy, or you can do it very misty. So we're going to start out with a little mist. I'm getting a couple little blotches on there, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not all going to look the same. See how this is reacting with some water? It's like almost like raindrops. I don't know. What do you guys think? So, and Deborah, let me know if you need that email address up again, or you can just message me here on Facebook too if you want. Hold on, I got sprayed over my shoulder. Get it started again. Okay, so I'm adding a couple little blotches. See how it's acting there? Now, for a little bit more texture, I'm going to spritz with the rubbing alcohol. Now, you can do this either way. If you just want to do water, you can do water. I wanted to mix it up and kind of show you how both of them look on this card. So I'm going to do this next spritzer in, this is the rubbing alcohol. I'm going to show you how it's kind of reacting with the rubbing alcohol. It's not so much getting as, hopefully you can see that okay. I know these are pretty rich colors, but it's just kind of helping to the colors to kind of be pronounced a little bit more. I hope that's making sense. I hope it's translating on camera. Okay. I have to make sure I keep these. Water, alcohol. I'm going to add a little more water. I want a couple more splotches on the top here. What do you guys think? Do you like this? I think it's kind of cool. And now what I'm going to do is hit this with a little more rubbing alcohol. And you can see as I'm hitting it with the rubbing alcohol, I don't know if this is translating really well, but what it's doing is it's just kind of making the colors almost pop a little bit. It's really weird. It just kind of brings them so that they're a little bit more pronounced, if you will. It kind of gives them like a little bit more of a robust look. I don't know. But this is kind of cool. Now, as you can see, with this, I also like to go slow. Again, the rubbing alcohol is going to dry a little bit faster than the water will. And what I always say when you're doing a technique like this, again, spritz a little, pull back, see how it acts, and then go back and add a little more if you want to. Or if you're like me, keep adding until you add too much. And then you have to start over again. No, I'm kidding. I don't think I'm going to add any more splotches. I did want to show you just because I didn't know if this would dry in time. I made a second one earlier. And you can see this one had a little bit more of the little splotchy water spots. This one actually is a little bit more controlled. And then this one with the alcohol, when it dried, it kind of gave almost like a little mottled look a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I prefer one over the other, but I do think I'm going to add a little bit more alcohol to this one. Tammy says this is really cool. She would have never thought to do it. It's kind of cool. I like playing with it just to see how it reacts. I added a little more water and a little more alcohol just for a couple more splotches. But here you can see once again, two totally different pieces that are totally different. So this one is, yeah, that's completely dry. I did that earlier. And so we'll see how they look. But this is just kind of fun. Now you could use shimmery white cardstock, or you could use watercolor paper for this as well if you wanted to. I just went with basic white. I'm not adding enough moisture that I feel like it's a big deal. Yes, this is a little, well, I was also a little heavy-handed with the water. This kind of warped a little bit because I used a lot of water. But as you can see, this piece that I'm kind of going slow and gentle with, it's really not warping that much. This was pretty wet, so I'm not surprised this kind of curled a little bit. But anywho, that's just kind of a fun little technique, and see how in the background, it just kind of adds a little bit of excitement, I think, behind the image. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I almost feel like I want a little more splotchiness on that one. Just a little though. We won't go too crazy. Hi, Connie. Nice to see you. How are you? And thank you for sharing. Okay, so green, the green cap is water. Okay, couple more splotches, just a couple, and then we're gonna stop. I'm notorious for overdoing it. But anywho, that's kind of fun. And another thing that you can do, another tip to kind of add to your background too, is you can take your Wink of Stella glitter brush, and you can, I'll do a little here, just so you can kind of see it. I'm just gonna put more down because this kind of goes everywhere. But I'm going to squeeze my Wink of Stella a smidge just to get that flowing, test it on my hand. And then I'm just going to tap it. This is, Wink of Stella is one of those things that's really hard to see on video, but I'm just kind of tapping it, and it's putting, I doubt you guys can see it, but it's putting little droplets of Wink of Stella on the background too. So that's another way you can kind of jazz up your background a little bit and make it kind of fun. So anyway, wanted to share that technique with you with the blending brush background. Again, you could just as simply do the blending brush like I did on the original card. Oh, excuse me, my stomach growled. So, or you can zhuzh it up a little bit, a little or a lot. So anywho, I hope you like that. I'm gonna move this off to the side. I'm gonna see how it looks when it dries, because we're gonna do a couple other things here. So I hope you enjoy that. And I see a comment. Deborah says, I'm liking it a lot. I'm going to have to try it. Yes, try it. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. Try it out and see what you think. I think it's kind of fun. So now, because we're adding a lot of texture to the background for the color, I wanted to use one of the stamps in here that I love. Is it has this fun little kind of spotty background. And I love this because it adds just so much depth to an image. So what I'm going to do is this looks really plain Jane to me. So because we added so much extra to the background, I want to give this a little love too. I'm going to stamp off once and just kind of stamp around the edges. One of these I know is going to be full strength and there's no real rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of adding. And you can stamp off once, stamp off twice, not stamp off some at all. Actually, this one, put a little on there that aren't stamped off completely. And again, there's really no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to pop a couple. Oh, that's too much on the aspen trees, but that's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make that work. Hopefully that dries a little lighter. Actually, we may have to compensate here with some heavier ones. It'll work. Okay, so see how it just added a little bit of texture? I'm a little heavy-handed right there, but I think it's okay. If it's too bad, I'll remake it. So sometimes it dries a little bit lighter, so let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. And then the next thing we're going to do, Amanda, we need to do this at a team meeting, hint, hint. You're so funny. Not this Saturday. I have something else up my sleeve for this Saturday, where it may or may not be the Stampin', not pastels. What are they called? Oh gosh, I can't even think of the name right now because I'm not thinking right now. But I think that's what I'm doing on Saturday. Okay, let's see. That is gorgeous. Almost looks like stars starting to poke through the evening stars. Isn't it kind of like, it's a cool technique, right? Okay, so stamping on the tree, we're kind of livening it up a little bit. We need a little bit more on the bottom corner here. And I don't know why I closed the ink pad because I need it. Actually, I'm going to go a couple full strength dots there. Yeah, that balances us out a little bit. Okay, I'm feeling better about that. And now what I'm going to do, again, this is still too plain Jane for me. It's too clean. We added all that texture and whatnot in the background with the blends. This has to kind of rough up a little bit. So you can use some sponge daubers, or if you still have Stampin' Sponges, these have been discontinued, but I use the heck out of them. I have my sponge, happens to be in here for crumb cake. So I'm going to use a sponge. You could even use, just to point out, you guys, you could even use your blending brush and just kind of ink the edges with your blending brush too. So there's lots of different ways you can ink around the edges. I'm going to put some crumb cake ink around the edges. Just because, I don't know, there's something about crumb cake. I always think it looks better when it has, like, when you dirty it up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I just think crumb cake it's kind of meant to be shady like this. Okay. Okay. And I'm probably getting this on my hands, so if my hands get real inky, sorry. All right. Actually, it might be time for me to re-ink my crumb cake. Now, the one thing I will point out right down here on the very bottom, that's super fragile. So if you are going around and inking up your edges, take a lot of care in that one little area in the middle because it's really close to the bottom, okay? So you don't want to tear it. If you're an aggressive shader like I am sometimes, you might rip it. Okay, so see how just kind of dirtying it up a little bit and giving it some shading just kind of brings it to life a little bit. Okay, we are going to do, since I have all the inks out and everything, we're going to do one more thing stamped. I have some scraps here. I have scraps of crumb cake. I have scraps of Night of Navy. I have a scrap of Rich Razzleberry, and then I have 2 scraps of the brushed gold. Can't remember the name. It is Distressed Gold specialty paper. So I have 2 of that. I'm going to do my crumb cake piece. Now, since this set is a cling stamp set, I'm going to put this on a label, but with cling stamp sets, I like to stamp first and die cut later because, hi Katie, nice to see you there. I like to, cling sets, I like to stamp first and then die cut later just because sometimes it might, but since it's not a photopolymer, you can't see exactly where you're stamping, and so I don't get crooked. When it comes to photopolymer, or cling rather, I like to stamp first, then die cut. Then I can get perfect placement. Okay, so I'm going to do this in Night of Navy, and I'm going to use this Your Kindness Warms My Heart sentiment. I think this is a great sentiment for a thank you card or just a nice card to send to a friend. Very nice. Crumb cake. And then we're going to do a little die cutting. So I still need my shading stuff, so I'm going to leave that out. I am going to die cut this with a good old trusty stitched rectangles. I'm going to use the smallest one in the middle here, and it fits this sentiment really nicely. The only thing I'm going to do when I die cut is I'm going to push it a little bit to the right, so it's a little bit more flush to the right, and there's a little bit more of a space here because I'm going to kind of tuck the leaves around this. So I'm going to need some washi tape. Okay, we'll do as much of die cutting as we can at once. Okay, so I'm going to use some washi tape, and I'm going to stick it on my shirt a couple times just to dull it so it doesn't rip. And as I mentioned, I'm going to kind of place this so it's closer to the right side, and I have a bigger opening on the left. It'll make sense when we put the card together. Put a little piece there, and then I need... I'm starting to put everything on top of everything that I need. Hold on. Here we go. Now we're going to take these little leaves. I haven't even put these on magnet sheets yet, and I've been using the heck out of them. It's crazy. I really need to put those on magnet sheets. Okay, we'll bring in the baby cut and emboss machine. I'm going to do a couple cuts here. Here are my plates. Okay, I'm going to do the sentiment first. I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to do the sentiment on its own. That one is not going to be, my sticky does not want to hold. I was afraid of that. It's okay. Well, cross our fingers. We'll hope for the best here. Oh, I kind of knew this was going to happen. I had a different way that I was going to peel this sheet back, so I really didn't put good adhesive down on it, and now I'm paying the price. Okay, so here's that cut out, and you can see we have a little bit more open on one side. Now we're just going to go in and cut our little aspen trees. Or aspen leaves. I'm going to do a big one in the distressed gold and little ones in the rest. So we're going to have to go a couple passes with this. Guys, I'm going to actually hold this like this, and I'm hoping that I'm still moving my paper. See, I didn't adhere this down right, and it's a problem. It's being problematic. Machine. Oh. The gold paper is in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. It's on the specialty paper page. It is, I'll show you. It's 2 full sheets of this beautiful distressed gold. It's kind of cool. It almost looks like mercury glass a little. I don't know. It's really, really cool. I am on like I think like my 5th pack of it. I love it. Okay, we're done with the big one. Let me put that off to the side. And we have a couple little ones to cut. But yes, it is in the annual catalog. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I totally did not stick that down well. Here, you know what? We're going to have some washi tape down. I don't know if that's going to help, but maybe it'll stop it from moving. Super annoying. Sorry. That's better. Okay, so the ugly washi tape is now on there. Okay, we're going to cut out all of our aspen leaves. I almost cut these in advance. I probably should have, huh? Oh, well. Deborah said, oh, you're welcome, Katie. Deborah says she loves the color choices. So warm and fall-like. Thank you. I'm glad. Ah, yes. Katie, good point. Add it to your list for Tuesday. Guys, I have some exciting news. Katie brings up Tuesday. If you don't know, on Tuesday, Stampin' Up! Is doing free shipping for orders over $75. Free shipping, guys. I am such a sucker for free shipping. I don't know about you. But Tuesday only, orders over $75 will receive free shipping. So if you have some things on your wish list, hold on, guys. I'm going to remove this page here. This one's a little dirty underneath. I was going to do my blending on this and take this off, but I didn't stick this down well. So, and it's just going to annoy me if I don't move it. So yes. So sorry, it's a little dirty underneath here, but it's stamps. It's what we're doing. I'm going to hold on one second because I'm going to grab you another alternative card I want to show you at the end. I'll be right back. It's right here. Oh no. Okay. Well, I thought I knew where it was, but I don't. It's not in the pile that I thought it was in, so I'm sorry. But I used a different color palette of cherry cobbler, crushed curry, and Cajun craze. So that's another good color combo if you want to do this background. That one's really stunning too. I don't know. Oh, sorry guys. I thought I had it handy, but I don't. So I'm sorry. We're going to press on though. Okay, so let's go back to our original pieces. And if you missed all the measurements, go back, watch the replay. I have Post-it notes on here with all the measurements of the pieces we're working with. And we're going to get this assembled. So now what we have to decide, one last thing. We need to add some inking around the edges of our sentiment, because if we distress this one has to be distressed a little bit too, because then it looks too clean. Will you share both color combos when you post the finished card? I actually won't. I will. I can mention it, but the other card is part of a paid tutorial, so I'm not going to be able to. I was just going to show it here on the video if I could find it, but I'm not going to be able to post it because it's part of a paid tutorial. So I'm sorry. I'm going to. If I can figure out where it is before the end of the video, I'll show you. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just be sneaky with it and try and post it a different way. So we have rules in that group, so I have to I have to be careful to adhere to the rules. Okay. All right. I think we're done shading. So see how we just kind of dirtied that up a little bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of a rougher look. But if you want to, Katie, if you want to write this one down, it's cherry cobbler, Cajun craze, and crushed curry. So red, orange, yellow in the regals. That's the color combo. And same thing we did. So now we need to decide, and this is where I need your help. Which background do you want to use? Do you want to use the one that has a little splotches, or lots of splotches. So you guys can kind of vote while we're getting going here. And while we are voting, hi Narelle, nice to see you. Good morning, question mark? Yes, I think it's morning. I have to remember, I'm like, you're in Australia, so I think it's morning for you. So while you are deciding, so I just need less or more. Tell me which background you want to use. And in the meantime, I'm going to use some basic pearls just because I think they're fun. And I'm going to color them in rich raspberry. I'm going to use dark, I think. And I'm going to do 1 medium and 2 small. And this is what I love about pearls and rhinestones is Stampin' Blends make them super versatile because you can have any color pearl you want by just coloring it with your Stampin', whoopsie, be careful not to get ink everywhere. They just need a little drying time, not too much, because again, these are alcohol-based markers too, so the drying time isn't long, but I figured I'd color these while we were waiting for voting. Let's see what we got. First one to get to 5 is what I'm going to do. Oh, okay, the winner is lots. So that was quick. So we're going to use lots of splotches. I will probably make another card since I already have this made and use less. That's our order. Okay, let's put it together. So now, like I said, this is a little warped because I did use a lot of water. You could always put, you know, a little light fabric over the top and then just iron this out if you want to. But I think we're going to be fine. I'm going to use liquid glue, so I think we're going to be fine. I'm not too worried. So now I'm going to go, I want to look real quick just to make sure and be real careful of that little bottom piece. I want to make sure I have enough room around the edges that it won't overhang. And I might slice just a smidge off the top. Not even like 1/8 of an inch, just a smidge. This is where you'll have to eyeball it a little bit. Okay. That I think will work. Okay, so now let's put these layers together. Again, I'm using liquid glue. And I'm going to go around the corners. Again, I'm not using a ton. Be careful with your liquid glue. I want to make sure I go all the way around the border so I get a good stick, especially that one little touchy spot on the bottom. A little on the side here, right here. And then I'm just going to pop a couple dots on the trees here and there, and I'm not using a ton. I prefer liquid glue to this. I guess you could use an adhesive sheet on this too if you wanted to, but I just like the liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, and now let me make sure I have my order: Night of Navy, Rich Raspberry, and Crushed Curry. And now I'm just going to kind of go over the back here, just kind of fit it in and stick it down. I find putting it on like this, putting the back on, I'm less likely to shift this piece and have liquid glue smear. So that kind of helped just kind of fitting it. And I like that it's just a little bit shy of this same length. So you can just kind of fit it in there and it doesn't poke through. You guys, that's so pretty. I love how warm and rich. It almost looks like this is a little bit of orange down here too. And then this goes into purple. It's really pretty. I like it. I hope you do too. Okay, now we just have to put our layers together. Easy peasy. The hard stuff's done. I hope you've enjoyed this. Who has blending brushes or who likes using their blending brushes? Share your tips with me. I'm going to try and use a lot all over the back of this because I want to get some of that warping out of there. It's not that bad, but just a little. But hopefully, those were some fun tips today. I hope you learned something maybe you haven't tried with blending brushes and give it a shot. I just find it's trial and error. Sometimes I just like to play with things. I figure it's only cardstock, right? If I ruin it, it's only cardstock. No harm, no foul. So pretty. Oh my gosh, I actually love how this background came out. That is really pretty. And then we'll pop this in here. Tammy says she loves light blending brushes. They're so fun. Katie has them too. Oh, good, Katie. I'm glad that this inspired you to play. Have fun. Like I said, go slow and just kind of build that color up. I find, like I mentioned earlier, if I think in terms of building the color as opposed to adding it, it's just so much easier to work with. Deborah, you love that laugh of mine. I'm such a goofball. I try not to do it because I think it sounds goofy, but thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very self-conscious of it. So, but see, I can't stop. I do it anyway. Oh my gosh, you guys, this came out so pretty. Look at me tooting my own horn. Toot, toot, toot. Okay, now we've got this flurry of leaves here. I am going to keep it simple. We have a piece of basic white on the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I think it's just super important. Always dress up the insides of your cards. You never want a naked inside. And we're just going to do, since before I get the front put on, let's just do the inside. Get some of these leaves out of the way. I'm going to do some crumb cake. Our little splotches. Stamp off once. Stamp off once. Pop them on the top. Peggy says the layers really pop. Thank you, Susan. I think I said thank you already. I think I'm saying thank you again. Oh, Katie's so sweet. She says, you are awesome. Love watching your lives. I appreciate that. I love coming live. It's so much fun. Okay, we're just going to pop these little aspen trees inside. I'm not going to stamp anything inside because I'm going to leave that up to the recipient to put whatever they want or just write a handwritten note. But this is just a nice way to, at first I was like, oh, I'm not bringing any of the razzleberry inside, but the card base is razzleberry, so crisis averted. Oh, I had glue on my finger, shocking. And I'm actually going to use my Stampin' Seal for this layer. Sometimes I get a little heavy-handed with the liquid glue and it shows through on the white layer. So usually on the insides of my cards, I like to use a tape runner. But either way works. The rate I'm going, I probably would be a little heavy-handed today. Okay, pop that inside. And see how it's just a little bit. It's just a little tiny accent, but it makes such a huge difference on the inside of the card. Okay, now we've got to put all the final touches on here. So, Stampin' Dimensionals, where are ya? Okay, we have a label. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm going really long. Sorry, I didn't intend to go this long. Story of my life. I'm not known for short Facebook Live videos, so if you're, you want like a 15-minute card, I'm not your gal. It's just not in my nature. I'm going to have this hang over the crumb cake and navy, but not over the edge of the card. So just so it has a little interest right there. And then I'm going to add, okay, we have to kind of build up our little trees here. So I'm going to add the gold with Stampin' Dimensionals. Karen, your laugh is you. We love it. Oh, thanks. I'm such a goofball. It's like a weird little nervous laugh. I'm like, hee hee. I don't know why my voice always gets raspy when I get on here too. What the heck? Okay, so there's our gold. I'm tucking the little stem under. Now the navy and Navy I'm going to glue down because I don't want to get, there is such a thing as too much dimension, you guys. It's possible, coming from the girl who uses Stampin' Dimensionals like candy, there is a thing as too much dimension when you're trying to mail a card. We'll tuck that in. And then this little one here, we're just overlaying them, and I'm kind of having all their little stems meet in the middle. And you know what, since these back ones are on dimensionals, I was going to put this on a dimensional, but I'm going to glue it down. Yeah, I'm going to glue it down. I just think it's just going to be too much. Okay, and that's going to kind of cover that space we left. So it just gives us a nice little landing space. Oh, you guys, that's so pretty. Now we're going to need a little crumb cake linen thread. I'm better if I just pull this over here and tie it off the screen because I can see it. So you have a little crumb cake baker's twine. You could use linen thread too. My problem with linen thread when we've done all this additional shading on the crumb cake is it really stands out. I have a bow tied here in linen thread. See how linen thread, when we've done all this distressing, it kind of like sticks out like a sore thumb on crumb cake, where I think the crumb cake cardstock is a little bit darker. Another tip you could do too is you could actually ink your linen thread, or you could color it with a Stampin' Blend marker if you wanted to distress it a little bit too. But I just think I love linen thread, and it's usually my go-to for like these kind of distressed looking cards. But crumb cake just looks better with this particular card, I think. Okay, sorry, I know I'm off the video. It's just easier for me to tie a bow where I can see it. My old eyes, you guys, I cannot handle like being this far away. Okay. Actually, we're going to angle it this way so we can read the whole sentiment. Floof the bow. It's a technical term. I always do this on videos, you guys. I make the bow like, oh, it's like floofy and perfect, and then I'm going to shove it in an envelope and mail it. And it's not going to arrive that way, but I'd like to think it does. Okay. Okay, so you just got a little, it's almost barely there, but it sticks out a little. Now we're going to go back to our colored pearls, which hopefully have had a chance to dry. And I should be using my Take Your Pick tool, but it's not accessible right now. I'm going to use some tweezers instead. Oh my gosh. I cannot pick this up. Really need to have my tools handy when I get started. Come on, like fishing for it. There we go. Just a little tiny extra accent, and I think they're so pretty in the rich raspberry, don't you? What do you guys think? That's our card. So let me show you the original and just some other variations too, so you can kind of see. So here is, that's twisting. I'll fix that after the video. So here's our card for today. I love how that background came out. Here's my original card. And this one, again, uses Night of Navy, Blackberry Bliss, so a little bit darker, and Crushed Curry. And we didn't do the extra zhuzhing on the background, but I still think it's pretty, don't you? So there's that. And then here's another variation where I went with gold accents. This one, fun fact, so I used, when I made this card, this is Night of Navy, this is Blackberry Bliss. Even though I used rich raspberry on the card, I used Blackberry Bliss on the background of this. And when I made it, I thought, wow, that actually came out a little darker. But I had already done the background, so I just threw the card together just to see how it would look. But I actually really like how it's popping in the rich raspberry. So this is Night of Navy, Blackberry Bliss, and Crushed Curry. And this one, I only did water on the background. And with this one, I think the alcohol kind of brought those colors to pop a little bit. So anywho, I wanted you to see the progression just so you could see the difference. I hope that makes sense. Do you have a favorite out of all of them? In this one, I used the gold trim, and then these are the brushed gold embellishments, but I did lots of distressing around the background too. I think they're all like interesting and pretty in their own way. What do you guys think? Do you have a favorite? Oh, thank you so much. I just love how that background just pops with that little spritz of alcohol. I think it just brought those colors to life. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Today is Katie's favorite. And Tammy loves this. She loves everything about it. I hope you give it a go. Super, super fun. I actually am a little partial to today's too. And the reason I think the colors popped a lot more on this is because, like I said, this one I just did water spritzing. This one was water and alcohol. So a little bit of a difference. And then this one, no water, no alcohol. Anywho, just to kind of show you some variations, I think it's kind of cool. So I will, I'll post this picture, a picture of the one I made today on Facebook, and then I will post the replay of this video over on YouTube as well. Looks like, oh, here, it looks like I did a little bit more shading with the sponges on the trees too. Who knows? Maybe I'll go in and do that. I don't know. I always like to mess with it after the fact, and then I regret it because I ruin it. So maybe I should just leave it alone. Anywho, I'm so glad you guys love these. Oh, hi, Ann Margaret. Nice to see you. The middle with the raspberry. Karen loves the gold embellishments. Do you mix a bit of water in the spritzer? I actually know. I have two spritzers. One filled with water. Green is water. It's the closest I have to blue. I have to keep reiterating that in my head. Green is water, and the yellow is 91% rubbing alcohol. I like the 91% because I really think it kind of pops color. So I have two spritzers. I suppose you could mix them. I don't know if it would dilute the alcohol too much, though. That would be my concern. I'd probably do a separate spritzer for each. So, oh, thank you so much, y'all. I am so glad you stopped by today and watched. I know this was a long video. I'm sorry about that, but I hope you got some great tips. And I hope you'll come back and see me again. I'm not sure if it's going to be Friday or Sunday next week. We have a big team meeting on Saturday, and I'm presenting at that meeting. And if I don't have my stuff ready, then I'm going to have to not do Facebook Live on Friday. So anywho, stay tuned. Stay here on the page. I will keep you guys posted of the updates on that. But I really appreciate you guys stopping by today. Thank you so much. And happy stamping out there, and I hope you all have an awesome, awesome day. So big hugs, big crafty hugs, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.